Cup of soups? Did you bring me one? No. Hi, Miss Hanson. That's like in 2 weeks. We don't need a damn countdown for that. Spring breaker. All right, ladies, let's go. I know it's taking a while to get started, but let's roll. It shouldn't be too long, especially if I stay on task. I don't know. Did you watch all of it? Exponentials, ladies and gentlemen. Exponentials is what we're doing today. 3-9. So let's talk about what is an exponential. What is an exponential? It is a type of function back there. It is an exponent. It's a geometric sequence is exponential, right? Notice the only difference is here's a basic equation. Y equals to the x. Now I gotta ask yourself, what can b be? What is b allowed to be used? What can I use it? Can it be anything? Where do you know? Okay, b can't be anything. Daniel, give me a value of b that I can't be. Did you raise your hand? I figure you knew something. B can't be anything. And here's a reason. Let's look at here. So let's look at 2. What is 1/2 squared? 1/4. What's negative 1/2 squared? Why can't it be negative? That is negative. 2. 1/2 cubed is 1/8. Negative 1/2 cubed is negative 1/8. That's a million. What if x is negative? What if, what about this? Raised to the 1/2 power. So the top is the square of the half. That's the way I came. So the bottom is an imaginary position. And there's an infinite amount of imaginary solutions, and that's why we're not allowed to like do this. Is because isn't there an infinite amount of even roots? Right? Think about 1/6, 1/8, 1/10, 2, 5, 6, all those are even roots, right? And I can't ever have it be negative. And there's so many of them, especially with the even power, there's so many roots that will happen that I can have to keep in function. Okay? So that's why we can't find that. So the key thing here is our b value has to be greater than 0. But we have 2 cases. We have our case when b is greater than 1 and when b is less than 1 but greater than 0. Maybe recall the 2 types of exponential graphs that we can have. Say again? Recursive exponential? No. Okay, what's 0 raised to the power of? Going back from the floor bird. That's my stuff. Anybody. Oh. Road and decay. You guys remember hearing that most of the things in the past? Okay, which one's the growth and which one's the decay? Larger than 1 is going to make them grow, isn't it? Less than 1 but greater than 0 is decay. Because that's what happens when you have like 90% of the value of your vehicle or 90% off, right? 90% of its original value. So it would be decaying smaller. Give me some other things that involve exponentials in real world besides depreciation of cause. Interest is a growth, right? How many of you guys get that lovely penny 4 times a month, 4 times a year? Yeah, I actually just got 7 cents. See you, ladies. Hey, see you tomorrow, Joanne. You still in there? Yes. Yes. See you then. Okay. So, what are we going to look at? Interest rate that has grown with increase in money. Mortgage, technically you're paying it, but the interest is growing. That's why the balance is up. That makes sense to everybody? Okay. Any questions? Let's go ahead and graph these. Let's go ahead and graph a growth one first. Give me an equation that is 2,000 is larger than 2 is certain. Yeah. Now this is a standard function. Now understand every standard function is going to be different because the base is different, correct? I get the 3, 4, 1.5. See where I'm saying by that? Okay. All right. Right. Oh my God. Oh yeah. That's why I mean it. You're so handsome. Lavelle? You got any like BYU or what? Wow. My boy had an argument with me the other day because he's like, Casey did. No, Dad. I'm Casey. You're DJ. Right. So, please find it. I always like to start with the zero for some reason. What's 2 to the 0 power? Remember, this is 0 power is 1. 2 to the first is 2. 2 squared is 4. Right? What's happening on this pattern? Doubling. So what's happening over the bracket? Cutting in half, so this would be 1/2 and 1/4. Or you can think about it as 2 to the -2. Remember my jump line?
Change the side.
You remember. Woo-hoo! Didn't I talk to you about that last year? 1 over 2 squared equals 1 over 2. Okay. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember how to do it, but I remember it.
I know.
Just complaining.
Thank you. Okay, so here we go. We're going. Now, but notice, I'm not going to cross the side. 2 raised to what power? 2 raised to the negative of this. Right? But it's not 0, is it? There's no longer the sequence of symmetrical maybe what is it sum, right? Why do we actually do any kind of sum? Because basically if you're going through a negative base of this is 0, right? That makes sense to everybody. Are you guys into the top 2 rows? No? Yeah. Oh, because you haven't used the top one. Hey, let's talk about domain. What's that? start raining?
Oh.
No,
Zero.
zero to infinity. We do with our parents because we're not touching anything, right? We're exposed to it. That's an exponential growth, because as I move from left to right, it increases. Okay, so what will an exponential decay look like? Remember that when your b value is less than 1 or greater than 0, so let's just do a half of that there. We're okay with that? Like 0, 1/2 of the 0 is 1, 1/2 to the first is 1/2. 1/2 squared is 1/4, where we see happening here. Getting cut in half every time, right? If I go backwards, what's happening? Getting larger. And notice that's this. Now there's two ways to do this. You could bring it in as a power, right? And then they both have to jump, correct? So there's two under in here. Or I can flip it on the inside right off the bat and multiply it. Okay. Mr. Starcher right up today. You just have a laugh back today. Huh? On the polar side. So that's done. So there's no. Really? Why? Did we get to polar last week? I wanted to talk about polar, but well, drop it. Notice it's getting smaller. Move left to right. And let's just drop it ourselves. Like if I put the minus one, we go down. Could it look like this? If it looks like this, what does that graph do? Times all the y. So that's going to basically take this graph, right? And flip it this way. That's what you're wondering. I just flip it this way. Cool. Huh? Huh? Good job, bro. Turn, go back. What's the domain of this guy? And range. Okay. Any questions? So far, so good. We're doing Now, we could also just graph in general by doing the steps. What is this? You want to do? Oh, just the right and left, right? So this is the right one. Okay. What does this do? Down two. So what right here, if I tell you what the range is, I can know what the range is. What's the number I will never touch again? -2, and how high do you go? Okay, let's just drop it down. The reason why it can never be -2 is because it can never be 0. The only way it can be 2 is from -2. Okay, so remember, let's just quickly do the chart. How do we do the chart? What do we do first? Come on, guys. X minus 1, so we shift what? Right 1, so is that the x's or the y's? X's, so I'm going to shift this x -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. got -2 here. Drop the square down our y value, right? Why are we Shelby?
It's Shelby.
I'm sorry. That's not. Yeah. But I try to. So the thing I do when I graph this guy, what's the number I'm going to use? -2 because it's going to drop down to. I like to put my calculator on that so I know I should drop now. Right? Because I can't see that. That makes sense to everybody. And then I go ahead and just block the points now. -1, -7/4, so all the way down. 0's at -3/2. 1's at -1. 2's at 0. 3's at 2. Don't go below right now. Good. So the next thing we're going to do is what in, how do we solve this? Anybody know what that is? 3 to what power is 2? We know it's 2, right? 3 times 2. So, the way to better solve this or make this happen is we have to do the same base. Because if they're the same base, shouldn't the exponents equal each other? So x equals 2. Because, for example, let's do this guy. Okay? That one's not as easy to see. You can't just say, oh, 3 squared is 9. Do you guys know when 3 raised to the 2x equals 27 to the x minus 1? Are they the same base? Was 9 the same base to begin with? Did I make him the same base though? So can I make 27 base 3? What is 27? 3 to the third? Notice I didn't change the value of the 25, right? And it says 3 times 27. What do we do on the power to a power? Multiply. Then what? Because they're the same base, what can I do? I can just set the exponent equal to each other, correct? And then it's just a basic solving. Right? Okay? Quarter of the time frame and me too.
Mine's 9.
I'd rather have
I'd rather just not go.
Well, you're happy. When I was growing up in my religious neighborhood, we'd go 8:30.
Ew, 8:30 is the first.
Awesome. And I never went later because we were in a state that religious hours bigger than
Okay.
and then we were in that building. And so the other guy didn't like to do morning. And the other guy, I love morning. And my other guy didn't like to do late. And so I started 8:30 from 1 to 12.
No way.
Love
Dude, if
it.
they do 8:30 at ours, bro, inactive. So fast. So fast, bro.
People have to do it.
Yeah.
Alright. Silent.
Hi. You didn't introduce Taylor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I'm not. Are you kidding me? Look at me. Uh-uh.
They're both my fiancés.
Yeah, but you get two but.
Maybe for the homework.
You already know I'm not gonna do it. Like.
Hey, can I say? No, because then I need one. I got to do it. Well, listen, I have to. Isn't 8 2 cubed? Isn't 32 2 to the 5th? You want to be able to do the same thing. So, 1 half to the 3rd, 3x. Isn't 1 half to the 3rd 1/8? Right? Does that make sense to everybody? What's 1/32? 2 to the 5th power. Yeah. Okay. Are you saying it's kind of a raising? Okay, so if you do it once, I'm sure that makes you like, right? So the key thing though, guys, is I gotta finish the same thing. Now, when we're not being able to get to the same thing, that's when we go to log later. I think you can play logarithm 80 on it or something. Alright, so power to power over there. Multiply, so this is 1 half raised to the 3x equals 1 half raised to the 20x minus 5. So you have to distribute the both. Okay? Make sure you distribute the both. Oh, yeah. I mean, you could, sure. Yeah, you could. Okay, so then we said this guy's going there, right? So that's going to be 3x equals 20x minus 5. When can I tell you what these are? When the bases are the same. Right? The key thing, the bases are the same. Hey guys, you guys have a message?
Coming back.
Anymore? No, I can use it. That's right. It's not pretty because I made it up. But still, overall, it's just way to think about it. Hello! What are we doing? Why do I have to use my magnets? How many magnets do you need? 2? What do you use magnets for? No way! Oh, magnet. Oh, magnet. I have magnets somewhere. You're How much you don't want that anymore? There's some more right there. I love your. Woo! Oh, what? So I was watching something on Instagram yesterday about the how strong magnets are, right? And how if they're opposite poles, they won't go to each other, right? Because the opposite poles are same pole. Same pole. So this guy, he had two magnets and he's pushing them on the rod, pushing it down, and he even put a piece of bone on top of that on it. It's not cool. And then duct tape. Pretty cool. And then they showed two magnets that had opposite poles, they attract, and they run them off and they found a screw them on. Boom! And snap and take Thank you, guys. I have one. Just like, if I can find it.
Yeah, let's listen to the video and you can't find it again, you can't find it. It looks really interesting. Take screenshots of it.
What's through the board? Okay. What is E? You guys know what E is? Oh, 2.71 roughly. It's like pi. Like pi. It's like pi. But how it comes about, what it came from is this formula. If I start plugging larger numbers into a thing, if I plug in 1, I have 2 plus 1 is the first 2. If I get 10, that's 2 plus 6. If I get 1,000, it's 2 plus 7. If I get larger and larger, it gets closer and closer. Okay, that's what E is just a number that happens when you like, have you ever heard of compounding continuous or continuous decay? Like, have you ever like you figure out this kind of diagram oh, this is right? You've heard of that or something like that. You're like, how the hell do you know how to it's carbon based. Everything that we have has carbon in it, right? And it decays at a certain rate. Okay? And that rate because it's there in order because we're always whenever you're dead, you're continually decaying, right? You just like okay, every 5 minutes I'm gonna decay a little bit more. It's always decaying, right? Does that make sense? Well, I don't know how in a way I guess it's a good thing, but like when you're dead though. You guys remember like when they said you know, and you're like CSI and you know, were you there? Oh, Moon's Law Cooler. And so what they say is here's your body temperature, they take your body temperature when you're dead, and I take kind of roughly the temperature of what the room is, like for example, my room is 46 at temperature, so your body can decrease to that temperature, right? Because it's less than your body temperature. But it's so they can figure that out. I don't know about those.
How do you do very short time from electricity? So like your immune sensitive gives.
And that's maybe what they're doing. I'm not super on the That's how it's kind of, that's how it works out. Everybody with me? You're supposed to look at these girls. Yeah. I saw something the other day, it was awesome. I was at the new school for the White wall. My classroom, this was my classroom at the time. This is very similar. These are over there. Then I have windows there and there. And then if I could have a teacher, I would.
What grade do you teach in?
I don't know. And one. They have, so far, well, it's not all the way there yet. So they have tiles and stuff. The red, they don't have a lot of action on it. Red, a lot of times it's just not matching what they wanted. So therefore, it's not going to be much better. But the bathrooms look nice. Like, I went up in there and saw the tile. It's really nice. Okay. It has a nice projector already. They have that, and there's no boards on it. They covered my life. Yep.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Exactly. That's pretty cool. No, it's like they all these ways they have some. No, because the floor is not. And then it'll be blended. And then it'll be the red. Right, and then it'll be red. And then there's the purple. You know, if you watch that thing, why?
Why would you
All the people aren't a-holes. But thinking of it, I saw one yesterday. The whole a-hole. So I've been there and they actually have lots of people. And, nope, I want you to use the E button. Just like pi. When you guys use 3.14, that's not pi, that's an abbreviation for pi. So the E is above ln, okay? If you are using a TI calculator, and E is above the ln, but that's E to a power, okay? If you use the E above the divided sign, that's just E itself. You don't have to. No, I don't want you to. I want 16.15. Get it? 15.15. Oh, higher than 5. That's good. Why do you want to switch back? You don't like this back? Okay, we don't know how to put things in there. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about interest, okay? Let's say you're kind of nice, you're not going to be like me and your grandma passed away. Meaning it's all right, grandma passed away. Hopefully they can pass away before you pass away. My grandmother had the 2 of her kids died. That's never happened to me. But whatever. My grandma passed away. She was born in 2011. 2021. Yeah, my cousin, he had heart attack. No, so my stepmom's parents, they're almost 95, 96, and they only had 8 children alive.
Yo, what happened?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always like drugs. You don't know. Look,
So we're gonna talk about money though. So great grandma passed away for coming down and she's like, hey, you get $4,000. Oh, and you're like, you were like, 21. You're like, right? But that's part of the wheel though. She said, you get $4,000, but you will get it when you're 21. But she's like, or you can get 4,000 when you're 21, and you get it now when you have 10 years old. Oh, I take it now. Would you do that? Because then we're going to get into it. Okay? Here's the formula we're going to use today. A equals P per 1 plus R over N raised to the N. P, yes, to be negative. Is this compound? This is compound interest. Now, what's the difference between compound interest and simple interest? Explain that. Okay, yeah. Yes. Simple interest is that amount. Now, what does the P stand for? Principal. Now, the funny thing about principal is principal, that's not how you say it. R, what's the R? Ray, what are we going to put it as though? A decimal, that's percent of a 3%. N. This is the number of times it compounds in a year. How many of you guys give your 1 penny 4 times a year? Because you give it quarterly. Most of you guys give it quarterly. Have you figured out how to say that now? No.
I know.
It would be interesting. And most of the time, like, I use my thing now. Anyway, but it's like every quarter you get an update. Now, the past quarter, I got 7. That's a lot. You get it monthly? You get interest monthly? Yeah, you get it monthly. So everybody, there's different types of compounds. We'll talk about that. Okay, so number of times it compounds in a year. That's the key thing. So, like I was saying, I get it 4 times a year, so it's called compounding quarterly. So 4 times a year, it'll give me interest. Now, Sabrina, we're going to talk about how she gets it monthly. So what would be her compounding? No. Well, if she gets it 12 times a year. Is that okay? Did you say 4?
12. Nope. 12. Okay.
Yeah. It's fine. I'll tell you what you vote. Come on. Yeah, 5 minutes. Okay. Great. Good boy. Okay, so grandma left me $4,000. Where's your bank at? Home. Where's your savings account? No.
Like what bank would want.
So she's at Mount America, and Mount America's like, oh, we're gonna compound monthly. So that's what it's next. I'd rather compound monthly than I would quarterly. Yep. So that means you get interest 12 times a year instead of 1 time a year. So you get 12 times a year. Well, but the things they don't offer. So you gotta look by it. Yeah. So, I'm going to say something pretty cool in just a moment, and I'm going to make sure that makes sense. Okay, so we got grandma, you know, $4,000, you don't have to compound in monthly. You got to get 5.6% interest a year. You're not married. But stocks or investment firms, you know, have some risk for it. Okay, and we're going to figure out what age you're 21. So most of you guys are at 4 years, and you're 4 years. Because most of you guys are 16, 17 years. right? We're gonna go 40. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. What's our principal? That you put in 1 plus 0.056 divided by, what's our n? 12. And 12 times 4 is, so 12 is n, 4 is time, 12 times 4 is 48. That means I'm going to get interest 48 times over that life. You look when I do 35.6. So I got to treat that as a decimal, right? Per 1%. With me now? Everybody good? Yeah? Hey, plug in charge. See if you guys get right stuff. Now, me personally, I like to do it step by step. I want to see how many things get it right by plugging and chugging. That is a 48, because that's 12 times 4. Huh? Yeah. But 4, and then notice how many, what's our n? What's our compound? 12 plus our. She's using parentheses, that's why I don't think they don't use it. Do this. No, you're gonna do that. You're gonna go 0.056, right? So this is awesome. Do that. So then add the 1. That's the part you break out. Then raise it. Does that make sense? Okay. Huh? Yeah. $5,001.67. So in base today, I'm going to say, nope, maybe not.
It's rude, they want that.
That's money. Like, you guys understand how banking works? How do they make money?
Taking our.
Well, they
Really? That's crazy.
Anyway, so how does it work? Let's say I spent $25 in the rate. If I put $25, they give me less than 1%. Right? Then what we're going to do is you're $25, you're either wrong. No, put it all together, but really, everybody came in and wanted their money. No, because what did they do? They take that $25 and say, oh, I did. Well, here's your $25. What do they start writing? Maybe that's 5%. Maybe less than 5%. But they will lay out that $25 and get 5%. So now they're getting 4.5% off of my money, right? That's how they make their money. Okay? Something I like to say, anyway, this is pretty cool, right? This is $1,000 for it. Did everybody else get that number? Okay. How many of you guys plugged it in with one straight line? Did you get it right? Okay. But you have to put a lot of parentheses in. Put parentheses in? Because if not, here's what I would do. I personally would just do order of operations. 0.056 divided by 12. Boom. Then what do I need to do for that? Add 1. I've done the inside of the parentheses. What do I need to do for that? Raise it to the 48. Times it by 4,000. Boom. Okay? If I did not, here's what it would look like. Parentheses 1 plus parentheses 0.056 divided by 12 raise 48. Pretty good, right? Ooh, that 0.3% makes a big difference. Right? Now, I always like to just show you guys this because I want to show you something that's pretty cool. How many of you guys know a lot about, how many of you guys have taken financial lit yet? A few of you? Okay. I want to show you something that I wish I knew. Like my parents, and we didn't have financial lit. A lot of you guys might like, ugh, how many took in your life? This sucks. It's just a busy working class. Some of you guys really thought that. I wish I understood a lot of the principles. Be good. I wish I understood a lot of the principles of money before I even started getting into it. Okay, I want to show you guys a mortgage. Mortgage. Okay, so what I did here is I have my house. I bought my house for $300,000. I personally have a 30-year loan, okay, at 4.75%. Okay, this is how much my monthly payment is just to my interest and my principal. Obviously, I pay more. I don't know if you guys know what else goes on your payment is your house insurance and your taxes, your land taxes. Okay, they pull out some of those every month. I actually pay roughly $1,850 every month. Okay, but we're just going to look at this $1,565. I want you guys to see this. Some people think when I put that $1,500 in, how much am I going to go down? Everybody thinks I'm going to decrease by $1,500. In generality, you actually have to pay the interest first. Hey, Troy. I gave it to Whit. Out of that $1,500, your very first payment is almost $1,200 of it going to interest. You pay $377 to your principal. So instead of owing $300,000, now you owe $299,623. Did most of you guys know that? When you're paying that house payment, you're not paying a lot of it to your principal. You're paying most of it to your house. Now I want you guys to notice, look how long it's going to take us to pay more on my principal than my interest. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Just after 6 years, I'm still paying a lot of interest. Let's go down here. 31, what year is that? I'm still paying more to interest. Now notice my principal is going up, isn't it? It's getting there. Right here, we're getting there. $796 to interest. Okay. Right there. That's our first. May 2034 is the first time I'll pay more to my principal than I will pay interest. It'll take me 30 years to finally pay it off. That's 30-year mortgage. That's the whole goal. Right? Yeah, there's other ways. I'm going to show you that. So really, in the end, guys, I want to show you. This is $300,000 is what I bought the house for. But this is after the 30 years what I pay for it with the interest. Okay, so once again, this is where I would like to have known a little bit more through my parents. Okay, now my parents, okay, they got a 30, and I wish I would have known, but 15-year loan. That's another common type. It's either 30 or 15. Let's see what a 30-year loan is. Okay, so 30 was just right there. So now a 15-year loan. This is how much you'll pay. And that's even if you make one payment, like if I made one payment extra a year, that takes off, I think, 5 or 6 years just by paying one extra payment. Yep. And there's some mortgages allow you to even, like, for example, let's say my payment's $1,800. Okay, I only get paid once a month because I work for the school and they only pay us once a month. So it's hard for me to pay it multiple times. But some parents, like my mom, she gets paid every other week, right? She gets paid every other week. Does that make sense? So what she does is she'll pay $900 on her first check, and then she'll pay $900 on the second check. Right there, she's still paying the same amount. Agreed? But right there, that'll take off 2 years off your mortgage. Anybody tell me why? Is because for your first 15
days of your month or whatever, does that make sense? You're paying interest off of this amount, but then you pay some, so then it brings you down a little bit. So now you're paying interest on a less amount for the other 15 days. Does that make sense? Because your interest can decrease because you're not paying as much interest on it anymore because you don't owe as much at that time. So anyway, let's look at the 15-year loan. Now notice our payment went up quite a bit. It went up $800, didn't it? Okay, $800. But look right here. Right there, June. You're already paying more on your interest. I mean your principal than your interest. 6 months. Took us 15 years. But understand, so this is, I taught, we used to have a math class called personal finance. It was for those people that were struggling to graduate. And I loved it because if you can get into this stuff and think about it, like, I understand it can sometimes get boring. But dig into it, man, because like my parents were not a good example to go with finances. Their basic rule was if they could afford the payment, they could afford it. But at the same time, that's not very good because then you're kind of like house poor or even a car poor because, yeah, you can make the payment, but can you afford other things of life? Right? Does that make sense? So I wish I would have learned a lot. But anyway, this kind of comes into the situation. So I want to bring up the fact, all right, so notice $800 difference, right? Is everybody there with me? But at this same time, imagine after I stop paying at 15 years. Okay? At 15 years, I'm done. My mortgage is done. So what am I going to use that $2,300 for? I'm not making a payment anymore. That's money that I usually paid out. What could I do with it? I could save it, couldn't I? So watch what happens if I decide to save this $2,333 for 15 years. Okay? So let's go ahead and I'm going to scroll down. So we had $2,000. I'm just going to sit here because it works. $2,333. Let's say we find a bank again that even gave us a respectable 4%. Compounding quarterly. So 4 times a year, quarterly. It's hard to write on this. Sorry, guys. 2,333. Because that's the amount of money that we are now saving because we're not putting that into our payment. Right? Does that make sense to everybody? So we're going to do it for 15 years. So this is our principal, 2,333. Parenthesis, 1 plus 0.04 divided by 4. 4 times 15. So I'm going to pull up my calculator. Here we go. So I go 0.04 divided by 4. Add 1. Raise it to the, what power? 60 power. Oops. Okay. And now I'm going to times it by what? Now, understand, guys, this is how much my $2,333 would happen on my very first month. But is that only 1 month? That's only 1 month's payment. What about the next month? I'd put him in the bank. And then I get to be able to do it all over with him. And then I get to go do it all over for everybody else. There is another formula for it. I just don't want to get into it. But just understand, this is how much that one payment after I'm done paying my house, after 15 years, that's how much $2,333 could be. Now imagine the next month. Now it has 14 years and 11 months, right? The next month, 14 years and 10 months, and so on. Add those all together. There is actually another formula for that, but I'm not going to bring it out. That's a lot of money. Not in this class. Shit, crap, I would, I don't know what I'd do. You guys all know that there's a thing. It's called, if you guys can, let's just say let's say you get done at college. You know, a rough American can, if they started college right out of high school and not go on a religious sabbatical and just go straight through, they get done by 22. Okay, let's say you get a nice paying job, you don't have a lot of bills, and for 10 years you put $1,000 in a bank account. Okay, so what time would I be done at? I'd be done at when I'm 32, right? Does that make sense? Let's say another person decided they couldn't invest. So that's when they started putting in. They put $1,000 in for the rest of their life. Do you know that person who stopped after 10 years will always have more money than the guy putting in $1,000 for the rest of his life? Investing early is important. If you could do it, if you have any money that you can invest early, it will grow so fast. The worst thing that can go against you is not investing at an early time. This is just fun stuff to me. I'm sorry if you guys are bored. But the last thing I want to talk about, I really get into this stuff because, like I said, I wish I knew. Because then I could be able to just live the life that I want to later in life. My wife likes to live in the now. That's why we don't have a lot of savings. I suck at it. She's like, let's go to Disneyland. I'm like, awesome. That's why we have season passes. She convinces me a lot. Anyway, huh? Last time, the year that I had you last year, huh? So I ended my season pass. Remember how I used to go a lot last year? We went last year with our last season pass, 27 days. I get bored sometimes. I'm starting to get bored, but my kids are liking it, so. Like, we went to Washington, D.C., and my boy's like, are we looking at another statue? And I'm like, shut up! This is awesome! And he's 8, so he preferred it. I can understand. They're not quite ready for that. Anyway, the last thing that we're going to talk about is there is something like we talked about, carbon dating and things like that, that decay or grow continuously. So the formula for continuous growth, okay, or compounding continuously is PERT. Now, I'm not going to bring this up, but E right there, this is principal, E as the number E. R, what's R stand for? Rate, and T is time. And that should make sense because remember, guys, we had basically this formula right here, right? Almost. And if we raise that to compounding infinitely or continuously, don't we put that in and that's what makes that E? Right? It's kind of close to that, but it's not exactly. That's kind of where it's at. Yes, ma'am. It's raised to E to the RT raised. Let me make it a little bit better. E, R. Is that better? Okay, let me help you out personally if that's okay. Is that it? You guys ready to rock? Did anybody get the homework? Everybody got it? 3-1. Separate sheet of paper, yep. Make sure you put your name, put 3-1. This is our 5th unit, so on the online it'll say Unit 5 test, but it'll be 3-1 is what I'll put. Does that make sense? For like looking at videos and stuff. I believe it's 1 through 67 odd. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, go ahead. Nope. We might go back for one more session, like one more unit, but right now, no. The online just didn't get good enough logarithm questions, and so that's why we're using the book. I think it was 71 and 72, am I correct? And then 81 through 84. Okay, guys, thank you.